Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our journey around the world takes us next up to the United States. Here in Texas, in the Lone Star State, where we can crown a constructors champions this evening. Can't crown the drivers yet. That will have to wait till next time out. But we can crown the constructors champions in this race this evening. Red Bull can win the constructors if they outscore the Sauber team by 41 points. For Red Bull will win it on countback due to the pure dominance by championship leader and more than likely soon to be crowned world champion Cookie. As a speaking of this, here's young Himi Dime. Obviously missed out on the podium last time out in Spa after some argy-bargy stuff with Ricciardo, who isn't actually here this season. 16 drivers currently in, a few more meant to be expected. Jason Gordon, we know, is bound to be here. He said that he will be joining mid-qualifying. Others, bit under the weather. No, not under the weather. Bit unknown for where they are. And considering they need to have big points here, only a sole Sauber is here. Orange Banana, welcome into the chat. I wrote it on here. If Sauber finish P9, I believe, P9 or P8, one of the two. No, P7, I think. I don't know. If they finish in P7, P6, then the fight will go to the next race. But Red Bull need a 1-2. And Kevin Cow, to be in the player if possible, hasn't usually been in the top 2 a lot this season. I don't actually know if he has finished in here. Okay, Jack. Right, so first qualifying lap is underway, and we're watching Star going flat through 10 down towards the hairpin of turn 11. Obviously, early runs here. This is just to get a lap time on the board to make sure you have that banker, so at least you've got a time, so you're ahead of at least someone if they don't set a proper time on the board. Down the long back straight. Braking for turn number 12 we go with Star through turn 12, and then towards the end of the middle sector, all 4 wheels was off the road there, but we continue on board with the kick sour as we go under braking through turns 15. And then it will go flat out through the triple right-hander of 16, 17 and 18. The kick Sauber driver looking to take original pole here, which he will do unless he invalidates at this corner. But he had to go off throttle there to make sure he didn't invalidate. So there's definitely time amongst the course of this lap. Star will so be then first over the line, and he goes P1 with a 34.7, definitely time. And now the young Himi Dime will now come over the line, and he will absolutely smash that lap with him already into the 131s. Haas in their home race will come over the line, and Oven Chips can cross the line and go P3. The Red Bull next to Cookie, who is on his arrow, the Ferrari arrow as well, just starting the lap. That's it. Then that's Kevin, who's just dived into the pit lane there. As then Craig Conley will be next up over the line, and Craig can go originally onto the front rows, and Alpine next up over the line. That was William X, who's just started a lap. That's then Lime over the line to start another lap time. And then we'll watch F1 Mallard. No, we won't watch Mallard. We'll watch Ollie, former champion, rounding turn 20. And towards the line we go, and Ollie goes slowest overall with a 35.1. Well, like the other Alpine of Tory, he goes over the line, and he can go slowest overall. That's a 35.541, 31.7, 1.8 seconds quicker than the rest of the field right next at this moment in time. Trosh over the line, invalid slowest overall, as then Jack goes into the top 2 there, and then there was the other V-Carbs just starting a lap. Next up with Michael Louise in the Williams, if I can find him. There he is. Out of the final corner we go with Michael Louise to cross the line, and goes only P3. Over a second from pole. Now we will watch F1 Mallard, who has invalidated his time. He went over the line with a 34.7. Star improved by 0.3, but has got a lot of battery to go again. Alianana has just joined in the Haas car as the championship leader, looking to be crowned champion next week, crosses the line and goes to provisional pole, but not the biggest margin we have seen so far by the rest. What is going on here? As Arrow goes over the line, he's an invaluable 36. There's yellow flags. There was 2 Ferraris there. Rare mistake from Oscar today. Yeah, it was a very rare mistake from Oscar. As where did that Alpine go? He went into the top 4 there. Next up will be Lime in the McLaren, who went into the top 6. Then would it be Mallard once again? No, well, no, he's just lifting and coasting once again. Ollie's just picked up a distant next lap of validation. That was a major cut there. Corey dives into the pit lane. And now Nisev. We'll watch Trosh first. Trosh out of the final corner and towards the line. Where can that V-Cub go? Only P5. What about his teammate Nisev? He's had 1 pole before. Over the line we go with Nisev, and it's up onto provisional pole. And once again, he's looking to be in the shout for pole. Jack comes into pit lane. And then that'll be Michael Louise going on course for another lap. Let's look watch the star now, who has invalidated and gone majorly off. And he then dives into the box. And who is that up next? What is it? Mallard? No, Mallard now dives into the box. So Nisev has had 1 pole this season, I believe. I think I wrote it down. Actually, I don't think I did. I didn't write it down. I'm disappointed in myself. We'll watch reigning champion. That will come to an end soon. And you'd expect it to come to an end at the end of our Grand Prix next time out. If I did that, I'm going to be like Oscar when he crashed. So next up will be Woman X, who is diving into the pit lane. Oh, there's a moth. That's fantastic. I might have to lamp that in a minute. So it keeps playing around my light, and then it creates a very weird thing. Like, it makes my light flicker. So Trosh, has he got fuel to go again? He has. And he's going to sling that car into then go on course for another lap. We're going to be watching Kevin Cowell at the end of the middle sector. Can I still join, or is it too late? There's 3 spaces still, so I would think you are fine to join. Kevin makes his way through turn number 15. We'll go on board with the Red Bull for the rest of that. Why don't we? Through 16, 17, and 18. We go with the Red Bull. Could have used a lot more battery through there. Could use battery till he hit the brakes here. And now Kevin Cowell, who has to finish in the top 2 to get Red Bull this constructors. Well, around the final corner, it's going to be no idea. Top 2 is going to go into the top 8 there. Kevin Cowell, last season's Div 2 champion, only in P8. As has Cookie gone on for an hour. That Cookie over towards the line, and the championship leader extends his margin. Well, now, no, not extends his margin. Takes now provisional pole and creates a margin of 0.202. So now it is once again over to Nisev, as I think Alien Annex is also on a lap time. A lot of people just out laps in a minute, so I'm going to see who's pushing on. I think Trosh is actually pushing on. He's got all very much 3/10 of a second up as he comes through the triple right-hander. Will focus with this Racing Bulls driver, Trosh. One of the reserves here this evening, cutting all that corner there, but that is the maximum that you are allowed. That car bouncing over those curves. That curves are not really your friends around here. Over the line we go is Trosh into the top 5. Next up will then be the Kick Sauber. Maybe no, that's on that outlet. Will it then be Alien Annex? They have invalidated their time. Then maybe Michael Louise. No, they're down on their time as well. It could actually be Young Himmy Dime, I believe. There was a pass over the line of... Oh, maybe it wasn't. Oh, the game said it was invalidated. We'll focus with Young Himmy Dime, one of the drivers potentially in the shout for pole. The other Ferrari comes over the line to begin a lap. There's a Mercedes in front of him as well, who is pushing on. But they're both in outlap, so we're going to focus on this Ferrari as he comes to the line and he improves his time, but can't even get onto the front row. Improves time, not position, 24 milliseconds from that said front row. Next up will be the Haas driver, maybe, of Oven Chips. Oven Chips, half a second up at this current moment in time, over 3 seconds from pole, and look how deep he went through turn 19 towards the final corner of the racetrack. Oven Chips will go. Is it going to be anywhere near top 10? It's going to be P12 there, 7/10 a bit adrift, as now Craig Conley is 3/10 of a second up. This is going to be looking for maybe around P9 at current moment in time, but I think he's just about that. He's now diving into the box. We're now going to be watching Jack as he is 300s up come the end of the lap. Through turn 20 we go. A little bit of unsteady on the wheel as he crosses the line and goes into the top 4 there, and he goes 63 milliseconds behind young Himmy Dime. Next up will be the Mercedes of Mallard. No, it won't. It'll be the Mercedes. It won't be a Mercedes. It might be Tory up next, or will it be Arrow? They're going to be finishing their laps together. Arrow on a lap. A pair of them actually on laps. Arrow will cross the line P9, and Tory will only improve excuse me, to P14 there. Now we watch Mallard over the line, and he goes only into the top 14 there, as Andreas has just left the session. So Lime was improving, comes into the box as well. 5 minutes 45 remaining on the clock. 2 spaces remaining. Don't actually know if Gordon has joined yet. That'll be Oven Chips coming into the pit lane. Is Nisev pushing on? Nisev coming through turn 15, and then we go towards the triple right-hander with Nisev. Mallard's just left the session. Nisev hugging an inside apex, chucking into turn 19. 5 minutes 10 seconds remaining on the clock. He's going to not finish the lap time, so maybe thinking he can go again on another set of tyres. We then watch to former champion Ollie, WHF Season 3 World Drivers Champion, looking to improve, and he improves to P13 with a 33.643. Next up is Star, who's sliding in the box there. Star, who needs to get at least a top 7 to be able to keep this Constructors' Championship alive. And he's got it all to do in his final attempt. William X will come out of the final quarter. The Alpine banging onto the track limits there and goes into the top 5 with a 32.3 there. And the 2 Red Bulls are already out on track. First up will be Kevin Cow. So let's get these final runs in qualifying underway, shall we? He might be doing a double run. Gordon has joined, but he's normally a Haas driver, so he's going to have to take one of the empty other seats. Through turn 1 we go now, and then we go downhill, flat through turn number 2 towards the S section. Fun fact about this S section: this section was inspired by Magnus and Beckett's back in the United Kingdom at Silverstone. We then go towards the end of the first sector, 500 down on his personal best. He would then go uphill, turning that overtake button on mid-corner, but I mean, I guess that full traction does really just allow it, considering you haven't got to worry about wheel spin whatsoever. We go through turn 11 and down the long back straight with Kevin Cowell, the Div 2 champion. From last season, of course, not this season. As now we go down towards the tricky braking zone of turn number 12. Both Red Bulls pushing on. Gordon just chosen the Aston Martin. Is Cookie not improving? Cookie isn't pushing on. Kevin Cowell just missed the middle sector split, so Cookie maybe did a bit of a double run. The game's saying though that Kevin Cowell has just gone purple in that middle sector. We go with the Red Bull through the triple right-hander. Number 43, I want to say, is on that Red Bull. He then goes through to penultimate corner, then towards the final corner. Kevin Cowell, can he work some of his tier 2 magic from the last season? Invalidates at the final corner. So Kevin Cowell, where would that have put him? A 32.7 would have kept him down and around in P8 there. So, who do we think will be up next? It might actually be Championship Leader up next. Will Cookie be pushing on next? It will be Cookie, and then it will be F1 Lime. There's a mosquito as well. I've just absolutely lamped it with my hand. Right. I've just slapped it. Right. Anyway, let's continue this battle for pole position. Who cares about mosquitoes or anything? I've just murdered one. Downhill towards turn number 2. Someone else has just maybe joined in this session. The time page is glitching all over the shop. But Cookie backs out of that once again. So now people are now going to be getting out of the way. So we're going to be focusing. Lime will be first on this card. Absolutely all over the shop. Andreas has now retired from this session. There's yellow flags here, there, and everywhere. Everyone is on track apart from Andreas, Mallet, and Gordon. Towards the end, actually, we've gone through the first sector. Downhill towards turn 11. They've got to get out of the way of F1 Lime because that's definitely going to be putting them off. But he should be getting a tow here by the other cars around him. Down the back straight towards turn number 12 we go. He's getting a tow, but do they know that he's actually on a lap time? Does the car in front of him know? Does the Mercedes know? He does then just get out of the way. Almost contact there between the pair of them. F1 Lime at the end of the middle sector is 3.5 tenths up. This ain't going to be looking for really around P10. We're looking really for a one-place improvement. Through turn 15 we go with F1 Lime. And then through the triple right-hander we go for this first final run in qualifying. F1 Lime, it is do or die now through the penultimate corner and towards the final corner of the racetrack we go with F1 Lime throwing that McLaren in, having to be a bit tentative to make sure he doesn't exceed the track limits over the line and goes into the top 9 there. So who do we think is up next? Trosh going a bit slowly. Next up then, I do try to find who is on a lap. Is it going to be actually, it could be Tori. No, next it won't be Tori. It might actually be Alien Annex. No, it won't be. It might be the Alpine of Womamex. No, it's not. I think he might have just improved his time, or he is now pushing on. So, is it the other Alpine? Is it actually Tori? Up next, Star is improving in that middle sector. The game showed it was Purple Star who needs a last lap. Hurrah! To rise to pole position. Our journey across the globe taking us to the United States, to Texas, in the Lone Star State. Who will be the Lone Star on pole position? Tori out the final corner, will not take it away. It's all over to you, Star. Sauber trying to keep their constructors hope alive. Crosses the line now, and it's only into the top 5. Now it's over to Himmy Dime, who has invalidated. So we now look to Michael Louise, who goes through turn number 19 and then turn number 20. Michael Louise, can he miraculously whip out a pole position lap? Crossing the line we go with the Williams and only into the top 6. Alien Annex will be up next. He goes to the line and going to the top 9. WHS Arrow will be up next, and the reigning champion goes into the top 7. Next up will be former champion Ollie at JL, as now they round the final corner. Ollie crosses the line, and it is going to be only P12. But what about Cookie to extend his margin and go into the 1 minute 30s? Cookie takes it away, but Candicev roar to pole for the second time. Crosses the line, it's not good enough. It's a 31.179. It isn't good enough for pole unless Womamex can do anything to deny him. Over the line we go with him. He can't do anything. What about Trosh in the V Cup? Crosses the line into the top 5, and once again around the United States in COTA, Cookie's on pole for the third time in Texas. Championship leader puts it on pole in style for the second race running. He's on pole position, and the only two drivers who have won races so far this season are on the front row together. Will these two continue their domination throughout? Cookie's got 6 wins and Nisev's got 2 wins. Young Himmy Dime P3, then Jack 4th, Trosh 5th, Star 6th, Michael Louise and Arrow 7th and 8th, Wimmex and Ali Nanex 9th and 10th, Kevin Cow and Ollie 11th and 12th. It's an all McLaren 7th row with Craig Conley and F1 Lime. Andreas will be Plum last. Gordon and Mallard will make up the 9th row, and then Oven Chips and Tory will make up the 8th row. But it's going to be our championship leader leading us away from pole position. What is your predictions for the Grand Prix victory? Sin, who got pole, that was the rain. No, my God, I've done the same mistake I did in Spa. Right, you got 10 people who are now tuning in. If you missed the end of the qualifying, once again, this season in WHF Season 5, Cookie is on pole position, the American, taking pole in what is his home race. If we used all 3 of the USA tracks, he would have 3 home races. I think we raced in Miami earlier this season. But we await the start lights, which will be coming very, very soon for you. Also, we do in WHF, we do a 2-minute break, so drivers can just recharge and prepare and get in race mode, in race mentality. The crowd roaring to get started here in the Lone Star State. And while we wait, 20 corners around this Texas circuit. 5.5 kilometers in length, 154 kilometer race distance. Fastest lap in this track was it back in 2019 by a young Charles Leclerc, a 136.169. 20 corners around here, 11 to the left and 9 to the right. The first Grand Prix here was held only back in 2012, so it's compared to other circuits, one of the more newer ones. Obviously not the newest. We've had the likes of Miami, Vegas, soon to be Madrid. You know, we've had a lot. We had a couple new circuits. Constructors can be wrapped up today if Red Bull gets a 1-2 with the fastest lap and pole position. They've got the pole, but Sauber will need to finish P9 for that to happen, and there's only one driver. So if Red Bull can cook up a 1-2 finish here in Texas, then it is pole position for the championship victory. Not only for the drivers, because that is basically going to be wrapped up this time next week, but in the constructors, where it can be officially confirmed, where Ferrari need a miracle as the 5 lights go on ahead of the drivers here in Texas. 5 lights on, lights out, and away we go in the US&A down towards turn number 1, and it seems to be a decent start by the 7. Cookie has to chop across into turn number 1. Red Bull leads. Cookie once again leads the United States Grand Prix off the track. Goes Himmy Dime there. As then we go through turn number 2, and young Hemi Dime's dropped a load of places down into P7 there. As 3DS as we go, Cookie keeps the lead. Off the track goes Anax, and then Womamex and Sail around the outside at turn number 6 there. As then there is Star. Star is off. And it's a catastrophe start for the Kicksava team. Star is down and around, and the sole driver who was in the top 10. This is a calamity start for the Sauber team to keep their construction line. Down the inside goes Maladon Gordon. Gordon will then try a switchback, but down towards turn 12 we go. Cookie leads from this Sev, then Jack, Trosh, Arrow, Himigdime, Womamex, and Alienax. As then there is the Williams, I believe, having a little look at the move, but then as we hit the brakes, as then there goes down the inside, that is Lime having a bit of a move there side by side through turn number 12 and then 13. And then we go towards turn 15 as there is Jack making a move on this Sev, and Jack is through into second place in the race. The Aston Martin having a very decent start as this battle still continues through 16, 17 and 18 towards turn number 19. Is anyone going to back out? No, they're not. Lime keeps a pin on the inside off the road, goes up and chips. And then through turn 20 for the first time in 28 laps. And then we go down towards turn number 1 once again, as there's the two Ferraris getting a bit close. Himigdime having a look on his teammate, but is not able to make the move. As then once again now Ollie and Tori having a bit of a duel. As into the box comes Star. So Sauber need to pray that Red Bull don't have a miraculous race. Through the S's we go, and towards the end of the first sector we go. It is Cookie who leads the Grand Prix. Alright, finally got a chance to do all of that. Back to your race leaders then. And Cookie once again starting to eke out that advantage. 9/10 of a second. It is now as we go down the long back straight. Cookie hasn't got a lot of battery left. No one's really got a lot of battery left, although the Sev has. And then we hit the brakes. Once again, the two Ferraris swapping around, or are they? Because there goes Himigdime down the inside on his teammate. Will Arrow try and fight this back? I don't think he's even got the tools to do so. Now it's a matter of can Himigdime get back into a Womamex, think about a dive on the inside of the reigning champion. He will go down the inside. Will he make it clean? He will. But then, due to the wider line Arrow gets, he gets the better traction in the Haas driver. Doing well in the Haas team's home race. Only two drivers are currently where they started. Cookie, who started from pole, and Andreas, who started from P19. We go racing onto lap number 3, and it is a 1.1 second advantage for Cookie, who was broken away from the rest of the field. Through turn 1 we go, and this Sev's going to be thinking, if you didn't make that dive bomb on me, we'd still be in DRS with Cookie. And I think Cookie will be happier to see an Aston Martin in his rear view mirrors than he would to see a V-Cub in his rear view mirrors. Through the S's we go with second, third and fourth. Both V-Cars once again running very well here in a Grand Prix. Up the hill through 8 and 9, and then we'll go downhill towards turn number 10. Cookie there just pulling out to the inside. We're trying to stop any sort of tow, as here is Star all alone in a world of his own. 28 seconds from the back of the field. He got spun around on the opening lap, and now we go down towards turn 12 with the rest of the pack, apart from Star, who's going through turn 2. Down towards the tricky braking zone. Turn 12, the V-Cub of Trosh almost going into the back there, as there goes Womamex down the inside on WH Arrow, who seems to just be falling away now. Seems to have a lack of pace here. Will Arrow make a lunge on the inside at turn 13? Risky if you even think about it. Risky more if you even try it. And then we go through turn number 15, and Arrow now down into P7 here in the Lone Star State. But Cookie had absolutely roared away from the rest of the field. The soon-to-be crowned champion, I think it's safe to say, this season is awaiting it. Down towards turn number 1 we go once again. This is gaining once again, but then we hit the brakes for the first time of lap number 4, and the Sevs just keep closing. There might have been a warning actually picked up there for the V-Carb driver. Through the S as we go once again with this whole train. Himmy Dime catching back up to it now. Had to turn out our corner a little bit. He just caught it there. If he didn't turn out of it, he's probably going to be losing a... He'd probably be gaining, sorry, a track limit warning, like F1 Lima's just done, who the driver down in 11th has just picked up a 3-second time penalty for track limits already, and we're only on lap number 4. Now, could we see inter-teammate battles as we're going down the back straight towards turn number 12. Trosh is gaining. He's gaining in a slipstream. Nissan will have a little look to the inside as Sahela picks up another 3-second penalty. Salvers. Had a catastrophe of a race here is Kevin Cowell, who needs to finish second to get any sort of constructors hope. As there is now Arrow and Ali Anax looking to go wheel to wheel. Is it the old up and under by Anax? And as we go through the next corner, and once again I've missed a move in the podium place. We're going to keep an eye on this battle for the moment. Nisev and Trosh swapping dueling away. Arrow keeps P7 there as the two V-carbs are scrapping. As there is a Sahelo having a look on the inside of Craig Conley. You saw the camera shake as he had to lock up there, but Cookie now got a lead of 2.2 seconds, and Jack knows he has to bring that turbo a little bit, and they're both V-carbs and the Ferrari gaining in the slipstream. Towards turn number 1 we go. Well, it isn't close enough to make any sort of move, as there is now the mistake that they wanted, and through goes Nisev on Jack, and Nisev is through, and now can Trosh make it? 2 positions lost for the Aston Martin, a little bit of lag, but through goes Trosh. It's now 2 V-carbs in the podium places here this evening in Texas. One mistake on the traction, and it's cost him 2 places, and now young Himmy Dime will think to go for a move next, as then we go downhill flat through 10 towards turn number 11. How much battery will Jack be willing to risk to keep this podium fight alive for himself? You see different lines taken there. Nisev opting for a bit of a wider line. We've got a 4-car train down this straight. We're going to keep an eye on Trosh here, and he's gaining on his teammate, and he pulls out to the inside of his teammate, and the 2 V-cars have swapped around. Nisev almost getting hit in the rear by Jack, as I think he might have almost hit the rear of his teammate. So maybe it's just the concertina effect, as there is Michael Louise and Ali and Anax getting all a bit out of shape. They're a little bit wiggly through the exit of turn number 12, as then still getting out of shape there. As then we go towards turn 15, he's diving down the inside, and Anax will keep this pin. Michael Louise will try hang around the outside on the traction. The track will now swing right-handed, and Anax still isn't able to make that place. As the dirty air kicks in, he starts to drift out on wide, but Cookie has absolutely checked out here. 3.1 seconds, and we've only just started lap number 6. As Satori picks up a penalty. More track limits there. You just see there's a 6-car train there for P6. Then there's a 4-car train for P2. Trosh maybe thinking he needs to be the one to try to eke out that gap. Try to take away from that gap of Cookies. Obviously built up a 3-second margin. And the Aston Martin, I think, is just now clinging on. Obviously drivers, they know they have to manage the tyres here in Texas. A lot of runoff, so you can race hard. You can race a very hard wheel to wheel through here. And then we're going to be watching Arrow now, as then we go through turn number 11 down the back straight towards turn number 12. Turning on the battery pack, he's gaining in the slipstream of WomenMex. Will he be able to make the move under braking? But the 2 V-cars getting very close as well. I thought that was going to be a move on there for a moment, but then you see WomenMex making a little bit of a defensive move, but then realise no move is on for the reigning champion, and Arrow has to still settle in for P7 here in Texas. There is now Oven Chips and Ollie, having a little duel, as Ollie now has the inside line for turn number 13, and the Mercedes, has he finally got through? Now on board with the Haas, the track swings left-handed, and now he's going to try and set up a switchback here to then try and get the inside line, get on the power on the exit of 15, and it is Ollie still in the top 12 here in Texas this evening. As then, I think that's a little bit out of shape there by Ollie. As then through turn 19 we go. Yeah, going to call them just go a little bit wider, but now down through turn 20, a little bit of a rear lock potentially by Oven Chichi, then get on the power on the exit, and now going down towards turn number 1. Is the Haas close enough to make it, using all of his resources left, all the battery left, to try and make a move under braking through turn 1, and the Haas is actually now under pressure from the second of the Silver Arrows. Mallard is now putting him under all sorts of pressure, as there is Anax now picking up a 3-second time penalty. So now we're giving Kevin Cow an extra place, but it's not really going to do anything in terms of constructors being crowned champion this race day. Down the back straight we go once again. Oven Chips now another one picking up a 3-second time penalty. I haven't actually shown you yet. Here's your tyres. Everyone's on the mediums bar 3. Andreas, Gordon and Michael Louise. Now once again there is Arrow and Womack swapping and drawing away. Womack is powerless to defend against it, but now maybe thinking of a run to the inside at turn 15. Womack don't really think he's that close to think of a move, but now this is where the hard sides are going to start coming into play here. As there is a battle, very deep goes Sauber, and Sauber are now running plumb last in the race where they need to score good points to keep the constructors alive. They need to score 41 points to Red Bull. So I might actually be wrong here. They can finish 1st and 4th now, considering that. Considering that, as down the inside goes Womack on Arrow. Arrow will try the old switcheroo out of turn 1, but I think he's going to let it go, as it's very, very risky going through the S's. As there is then the other Ferrari starting to close up a bit on Jack, as there is yellow flags out for Star. Oh, I'm going to guess he's probably going to come to the pit lane and maybe retire soon. But he continues on. Annex another 3-second for track limits here. But then Arrow, I think it's now going to be the perfect opportunity to try and make that move down the back straight to reclaim P6 in this race. We go through the hairpin. We'll remove that for a current moment so we can see the full screen. Arrow's gaining in the slipstream, gaining in the toe, and he's going to pull out to the outside or inside. Which way is going to go? To the outside, and the reigning champion is through. Back up into the top 6. A little bit of a rear lock there, but Arrow is through. And there he goes into the top 6 there to continue towing along the others. Now, can we say this? Maybe we see a dive. I'm pressing the wrong buttons here. Edmund Mex was maybe thinking about it. Maybe he picked up a track limit warning there, but thinks better of it and doesn't decide to go wheel to wheel through there on lap number 8. So pit window is open for all of these drivers. Lap 9, I think it might actually be the optimum lap to come in. I'm not too sure, as Himmy Dime had quite the poor start, didn't he? Fell behind Arrow down to 6, got that place struck straight away, and it's absolutely launched away from his teammate. It's down towards turn 1. Womack is diving down the inside. Arrow will try hold this around the outside. There's contact between the pair of them, but then on the power on the exit of turn 1, Womack is through and into the top 6 here in Texas. Once again, these two just swapping and scrapping away. Basically, our sole source of entertainment at this moment, because the rest of the field has been an absolute stalemate. Jack maybe just reach off a little bit of battery now, and then through turn number 11, then towards turn number 12, and Nisev is thinking of maybe going for that move once again. He's using all of his battery, using everything left in stock. There's probably nothing left to fight for. The wind's probably gone, and Nisev's pulling to the inside on his teammate. The two V comes wheel to wheel on the inside, and it is Nisev through into the top 2 there. Trosh is lagging absolutely everywhere. Now will Jack maybe think of a move to the inside, as there is Arrow and Womack swapping around once again. That is a complete shoddy camera angles. Himmy Dime picks up a penalty. More track limits, and Kevin Cow starting to wanting to get a move on with things here. They've lost the rest of the field, so if now you've got a thing, maybe P9 is the maximum for this Red Bull driver. But into the pits comes race leader Cookie, the pole sitter and the race leader dives into the pit lane. The top 4 all continue on here in Texas as Jack. What are you doing? You just weaved off the track. He's just completely weird on track, and he's giving himself another 3-second penalty. I can't see how he's looking to get that removed. As there is a poor exit through turn number 1. I'm going to remove. I'm just going to show that because that seems to take up a lot of screen showing the tyres. So we basically only have to focus now on the penalties now, because this is what will be deciding a lot of finishing positions. Cookie comes out on the back of this train. So first time Cookie will have to be experiencing dirty air in this race. Just see how much understeer he's now already experiencing, despite having fresher tyres already. Experienced a lot of understeer. We're going to keep actually on board with Cookie here. Currently now a VCarb 1-2 as it stands at the moment. Red Bull will not be Constructors champions. As then will we see launched to the inside by Cookie. Is he going to try something? And he's going to go late down on the inside. As there is Wilmex and Arrow as well, dueling wheel to wheel on the traction on the exit of turn number 11. Wheel banger between those two as well. Now Wilmex now has the DRS and Cookie's gaining on Arrow. Arrow goes defensive, but then Cookie can get on by. And now will he make the try to go for another send and make up 3 places in the matter of 2 corners? Yes, he does. And the soon-to-be champion this time next week has got through, as there is Lime, and off the track goes Alien and Alex now, as Kevin Cow is now down into P11, as Alex and Lime both on 6-second penalties. This is for track position here. There's almost contact between the pair of them. Kevin Cow doesn't really know where to place his car, as then there is Lime, absolutely chopping off any opportunity there, as does any of the top 4 dive into the box? No, they do not. So Cookie, it will not be a Grand Slam for the V-Carb, as Jack maybe trying to get a bit of cleaner air on his front wing. Turn on we go. Arrow taking a bit of a wider line come on the entry point, as there is now a 3-second from this Sev, as there goes Ali and Alex through on F1 Lime. So only one driver of the top 5 brigade hasn't got a penalty. 2, sorry. Cookie and Trosh haven't got penalties so far in this Grand Prix. I wish there was an option so you could see how many warnings that they were all on. Alex picks up another 3-second already now on 9 seconds worth of penalties. His Arrow now falling to around 0.8 of a second behind. As once again falls out to the inside, and these two swapping around once again. But the McLaren's got the DRS, and this battle is going to continue on and on down towards turn number 12. Here comes Kevin Cowan around, and round goes Kevin and Alien Annex. The pair of them spinning together through turn number 12. Contact between the Haas and the Red Bull, and that came from absolutely nowhere. Alien Annex spun round, Kevin Cow as well spun around, as there is into the box goes Jack. So the rest of the field, we're on a mega extending stint here. Did Cookie pull the pin a bit early? He had the pace over these lot nonetheless. Cookie now ahead of Jack. Jack has just been third, pulling away very slowly there in the Aston Martin. He's now going to fall to P8. This might be quite close with F1 Lime, as there is then the Aston Martin coming on pit. This is going to be side-by-side action on pit exit around the outside. Lime will try to look, he'll then try to switch back, as then Alien Alex comes into the box and retires from this race after probably committing an absolute murder crime on Kevin Cow. But at least Kevin Cow's keeping it clean. We saw that last season from him. He was able to keep it clean and be able to not pick up warnings, and then just pick up places from other drivers getting track limit penalties. The 2 V-cars are now broken away from him. He died. Lap 12 of this Grand Prix, and the top 3 still haven't boxed, and Cookie will be on the tail of all of these soon. It's currently still a V-Carb 1-2, as Michael Louise now will be thinking of getting a move. He's got DRS, Arrow has not. He's gaining in the slipstream, pulls out to the inside, and Michael Louise is through on the reigning champion, the defending champion. His defense, he said it himself last week, hasn't really been how as good as he was expecting, as Ollie now is through on Kevin Cow. So 2 champions in their own aspect swapping places. Two comes into pit lane. Nisev dives into the box. So Nisev, the man with 2 wins so far this season. Is this the play to go long? And then is this the play to go long and then be able to gain on Cookie in the latter stages? But where is he going to come out in this race? As there is now a double stack for the Ferrari team, as they get to work very, very quickly. That seems to be what happens in this game. This Sev comes out a little bit of clean air. Obviously, he gets affected a little bit. But now Michael Louise is starting to hunt down on William X on those hard compound tires. Michael Lewis started on them. Seems to be doing very well for himself. Lap 13 of 28. Probably going for at least another 4 or 5 laps on this compound tyre. Downhill, flat through 10 towards turn 11. Jack has actually jumped the pair of them. So Jack is currently net P2, I think, in this race. We then get on the power on the exit of turn 11, and this should be, it could we see 2 cars go by William X in a matter of seconds here. To the inside goes Michael Louis. Will we see a dive to the inside by Jack in the Aston Martin? Is he going to go brave on the race? He's diving down the inside on William X, and Jack is through into the top 4, and probably going to see a dive down the inside turn 13 here. Not many moves on turn 13, but he's made it stick, and Jack is now into the podium positions here, as Michael Louise also got through on William X, and now it's Niseb's to have a go on these lot. We go through the triple right-hander for the 13th time in this race. Lap 14 has just begun. The Cookie has already crossed that start-finish line, as there was a big chop cross by William X there, as now he dived into the pit lane. So what Niseb lost minorly through turn 9. He's going to gain back because of the DRS down the main straight. We go once again. And there is Trosh, and he is going to be behind Himmy Dime, and not on the back of the train. He's be close, but not on the back of the train as of yet in this race. So Niseb now closing to the rear of Michael Louise, the runner-up last season in Tier 2. As there is a mistake by Niseb, and that's going to allow Himmy Dime to close even closer in, as these lot do look to gain on Jack, who has got a 1.9 second gap, 2 second gap between himself and the Williams. Niseb pulls out to the inside and gets ahead of Michael Louise. What about Himmy Dime though? He's going to be getting in a slipstream, and he is just going to be waved on by as well by the Williams driver. Michael Louise choosing not to defend that, as on the inside the Ferrari goes into the top 4 in this race, as there is Craig Conley picking up another 3-second time penalty for track limited on board with the V-Carb driver now on a charge to try and catch Jack in the Aston Martin. Now a man in absolutely no man's land. WHF Arrow. I thought that was a penalty. That is SSR Halo now on 12 seconds worth of penalties. Star, who had that lap on it, but now we're going to be looking to Himmy Dime. He's got his battery turned on, and he's getting in the slipstream of Niseb, but isn't close enough, as there now goes Trosh through as well. So Trosh back up into the top 5, as there is then once again Craig Conley and Tori swapping away and dueling away before the triple right-hander. But the battle, which is actually going to be proper on track, the gap between first and second now 14 seconds. It's a monumental gap for Cookie. Is Cookie maybe trying the 2-stop here in Texas? But considering his pace, he should bloody be able to do it, because he is absolutely rapido. Now on the exit of turn number 11, down the long back straight in Texas, in the circuit of the Americas. There is no battery left for Niseb. Himmy Dime's gaining. He's gaining in the slipstream. He's going to pull out to the inside. This is the battle on track for P3, and Himmy Dime is through into the podium places. And now he can lead the charge to try and catch up to the rear of the Aston Martin driver of Jack. Through turn 15 we go. There is no chance by Niseb, who just wants to work together with Himmy Dime here to be able to close up to the back of the Aston Martin. But Jack actually now, so 1:36.3 last lap for Cookie. What was the last lap for Jack, as now we watch him come around the final corner? 1:35.8, so half a second gained over the course of that previous lap by Jack. So won't be enough, but I think the tyre was already starting to show. The tyre age, at least, is starting to show already. Both V-carbs here. Still an hunt for a podium. It can still be a double V-carb podium. Excuse me. As there is Arrow. No, what happened there? Who's into the pit lane? Michael Louise and Gordon both into the box. So 2 drivers who are starting on the hard compound tyres. Michael Lewis filters out very nicely, actually, in P8. And I think, to be honest, I think P6 will be the best Michael Lewis is getting, because there is a 16-second gap between those two. If we just have a look at gap to leader, monumental gaps have been completely built up, as there is start in the pit lane as well. Torrential as here. We haven't really seen him much since he... we haven't really seen him much for him, as there is a 7 Himi Dime swapping around once again as they continue to hunt down Jack in the Aston Martin, keeping a very decent gap there, as there is Ollie and Oven Chips once again, as down the inside goes this second Mercedes, and Mallon. There's contact between the pair of them, and Mallon has to correct the car a bit, and now we get on the power down towards turn number 12. Arrow 3-second time penalty for track limits here as we get towards turn number 12. Down the inside goes Oven Chips in the Haas on the Mercedes touch, and off the road goes Ollie in the Mercedes, and now Trosh picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits as well. So second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth has got penalties. Here comes Ollie now down the inside, and there's contact again, moving on to braking by the Haas drivers. Off the road goes the Haas driver, and then on the power through the triple right-hander. You can't see what's going on here, and the Haas driver is ahead of the Mercedes driver towards turn 19 we go, and then it is now Ollie stuck behind the Haas. Will be seeing lines on the inside at turn number 20. No, we won't, as now wide goes the Haas, and through goes Ollie, and now Mallard will have a look, have a sniff on the Haas as towards turn number 1 we go. Mallard is about to set up a dive on the inside. Down the inside goes Mallard, but backs out a bit because there is Oven Chips moving on the braking and completely locking tyres with Ollie, and they make contact again, and Ollie is basically half spun there as towards the we go. There is 4 cars separated by 30 metres here, as there once again is Himi Dime through on Nisev. I can't see how that isn't a pen for Oven Chips. Awful defending there. Down inside the 2 Mercedes looking to swap. I can't find the button as through goes Mallard, but then now it's inviting the Aston Martin and Gordon on those new medium compound tyres. I want to change. I want to get Summit, but there goes Gordon through past 1 Mercedes. Can he make it? 2 Mercedes overtaken in one straight. Then Mallard will defend it, as there is a rear lock by Oven Chips in the Haas. Towards turn 13 we go. On board with the Aston Martin driver. Wide goes the Mercedes towards through 14 towards turn number 15. Mallard, that is an absolutely diabolical camera angle, as Oven Chips now around the outside, off the track and into the wall. Got a pair of them, the Mercedes and the Haas, off into the wall, and through goes Ollie and Gordon. The Aston Martin and Mercedes prevail as the other Mercedes and the Haas go off the road. So, oh, that's what I wanted to change, wasn't it? Interval. That's what I wanted to do. Sorry, my dad came in my room because he told me he's going to bed. But onwards we go with this race, and once again Trosh is gaining on Himi Dime, and will he cost them time? Yes, he will, as he pulls out to the inside. They're going to keep this side by side, are they? Through the next turn, as now here comes Trosh on Himi Dime as towards turn number 13 we go. And Trosh isn't able to make the move. Could we see a send maybe on the inside at turn 15? Thinks better of it and just doesn't choose to go for it. As now Womarex is back in with DRS of WHF Arrow. But again, I think that's just another penalty really for Oven Chips. I have to rewatch it again, but he's practically killed 2 Mercedes here in Texas. And we know it's been spicy between these two. So Oven Chips will flick that wheel through turn 12, sorry. And then towards turn 13 we go on lap 19. A 28 Cookie is already at the end of sector 1. His pace is just absolutely electrical. As here we go through the S's once again on board with Trosh. That V-Carb still lagging all over the shop. As then we go through turn 7 and then through the uphill chicane of turn 8 and turn 9. There is Arrow and William X side by side. We'll go towards turn number 2. None of them wanting to give it up. And then I think William X is going to have to give it up, as now towards the S as we go. Arrow is still ahead, but it's probably a matter of time before those two do eventually swap around. Jack doing very, very well, considering he's got the older tyres, as now Himi Dime. He's gaining in the slipstream of Nisev. Is he going to make a lunge towards the inside? There's no ERS being deployed by Nisev. As Himi Dime to the inside. The Ferrari and V-Carb wheel to wheel once again. Into the old switcheroo on the exit of turn 12 though. Towards turn 13 we go. That car wanting to chuck itself in, but then Nisev had to settle in behind. Nisev had to settle in behind Himi Dime once again, and Trosh is now thinking, come on, let me through, I got pace here in Texas this evening. As there is then William X down the inside on Arrow. Arrow will then try switch back, as then we go towards turn 13. We'll try another switch back maybe, and then will he try a third switch back if he can get the outside line for turn 15. He's now going to dive down the inside, does the reigning champion. He then gets back through, but then William X tries to switch back on the exit of 15 through 16, 17 and 18 we go. This is at such high speed, and William X almost onto the curb where you can easily lose the car. Now we look to Mallard and Oven Chips once again through turn 13, and the Mercedes is still ahead. Once again, we go towards turn number 1. William X is gaining once again. He's gaining in the slipstream. As once again, those two are going side by side, but this is the battle higher up the road. And at turn number 6, down the inside, goes William X on the Ferrari around the outside. There's contact between the pair of them again at turn 1. And William X is sent into a half spin and a ghost. And this has now got Michael Louise perfectly in this little scrap, as Oven Chips has now made a mistake. And Craig Conley is now hunting down F1 Mallard here. Back to the podium places we go, and Nisev is gaining on Himi Dime, but towards turn number 12 we go once again. And there was a little bit of a fake move there, maybe trying to force a mistake. I think it actually did force a little bit of a mistake there. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to quickly get up here. Detail on tyres, so we can see the tyre age. Only 2 laps, but he's really getting that gap down. Is Jack gap down to 11.8 seconds here in Texas. I'd be love if I could see his tyre wears once again. These two swapping around. Michael Louise is looking around the outside on WHF Arrow. He's not going to make it easy, but Michael Louise has now got the back out of it once again. And Arrow, will he maybe dive down the inside at turn number 13? No, he won't. Maybe once again trying the inside at turn 14 as Arrow gets all out of shape, and Michael Louise still has to just sit behind him. As here is what I predicted. Cookie into the pit lane for a 2-stopper. Here in Texas, he's got 4 cars to overtake, but they've all got track limit penalties, so Jack is now into race lead. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. We know that Cookie's now got the fresh tyres, so the man hunting win number 7 of the season, win number 31 in his career, has got some overtaking to do if he is to be world champion next time out. And if he is to be the champion of this race, as there is yellow flags out for Oven Chips. And he's going to dive into the pit lane. And could this be a double? Has DNF in their home race into the box? Comes Oven Chips, and will it be a retirement? It doesn't seem to be, as there are the 2 V-Cubs now swapping around, and there's contact. As there is contact there between Cookie and Nisev. No damage on that V-Cub, but there was definitely tyre locking and wheel banging between Cookie and Nisev. And now Cookie's looking around the outside of Trosh. Will now try to hang us around the outside. They then try to switch back on the exit of turn number 15. And then the track will swing right-handed, and Cookie still not able to make that move, as once again these two swobbling and dueling away. Almost contact into the rear, almost went the Alpine WHF Arrow, almost getting clobbered there. As now Cookie, he's got 1 down and he's got 3 to go. It's a bit like Singapore in 2023, this, where George Russell was charging through. He's got 3 to go. Make that 2 to go till the on-track race lead. Cookie is back up into the podium places. If there was to be a penalty for Cookie, I don't really think it's really going to affect him, to be remotely honest here, through turn 2 and then towards turns 3, 4, 5, and 6. As there's now William X and Michael Louise through turn number 20 we go. And through goes the Williams with a lovely maneuver on the inside at turn 20. You don't see many moves there. As now Michael Louise is down the inside at turn number 1. Does Arrow try to hang around the outside? He does on the exit of turn number 1 towards turn number 2. And Michael Louise has to stay tucked up behind the reigning champion. So he's passed 1, he's passed 2, making a hat-trick overtake within the last lap or so. Cookie is through into second place, and he's got 2.7 seconds to go until he takes the lead on track. He is actually currently that race leader already because of the penalty for Jackers Oven Chips, another 3-second penalty on 18 seconds already. So, Red Bull will not be champions in Texas this evening due to, as they're off, is that off? Or Oven Chips, he is the wrong way. Into the wall and just spinning and drifting away. As there is Michael Louise, and William X, who has swapped around once again. So William X is back up into 7th place. Is there now off is the Sauber of Star once more. Star off again in Texas. This is a massive race to forget for Star. But the question is, how much will Jack try to defend this? He hasn't got a lot of battery left, so this is probably going to be a plain sailing pass for our soon-to-be champion, the championship leader. 6 wins this so far this season. Is looking for win number 7, and Jack knows it. He knows he's under pressure. As through the next corner we go, as then there's a move by Arrow, who's got through on William X once again, but we're focusing on the battle for the lead. Down towards turn 12, Cookie to the outside, and he is now into the lead of the US Grand Prix. Jack will try to defend this, but he's got absolutely nothing to defend this with, as Nasev, I think, actually coming for another pit stop there. As the Hassan retires, probably crashing on purpose. But Cookie is back into the lead of the US Grand Prix and will absolutely sail it off into the distance there. As Arrow and William X still again dueling. And is this what William X needed? Down towards turn 12 we go. And these two once again, this is the closest they've been. And William X is now past, and once again now Michael Louise is looking to get past as well. Michael Louise down the inside on WHF Arrow. There's contact again between the pair of them. Will lock in once again between the pair of them, and Arrow loses 2 places in a matter of meters here. Michael Louise has now got his prime position to get up into the top 6 here in Texas. So now that Cookie is back through, we don't really need to see the gap to lead up due to Cookie having no penalties. Lap 24 of 28 in the United States, and Michael Louise is the sole driver looking to attack, to actually make moves which will matter come the end of the race. And there you see William X take a massively defensive line. Defending Fidel, I think you could really say that was. Don't really know what he was thinking of doing there. As then towards the S as we go, Michael Louise, look how much he gains there through turn 2, and then through the S as we go. Michael Louise, maybe just trying to sit on none to be able to recharge that battery pack. We now see William X, Michael Louise, and WHF Arrow going through 7, 8, and 9. And then we'll go flat out through turn number 10. The Alpine is going to be put under pressure towards turn number 12. He's under pressure for already through 11, but turn 12 is where the biggest threat will be. The DRS will be enabled, the ERS will be enabled, the slipstream will be punching a hole in the air for the Williams. He's gaining in the toe as down towards turn 12. And once again, William X knows he needs to defend it. Is there anything he can do? Michael Louise pulls out to the outside line, and William X will try to hang us on the inside line. Michael Louise plain sailing around the outside, but then the track's going to swing right-handed for William X. He's going to try the up and under, gets the nose in there, but then towards turn 15, will he try to dive down the inside? No, he doesn't. Michael Louise defends that off very, very well through turn 15, and then on the exit of turn 15, then through 16, 17, and 18, and William X is through, and into 7th place he goes down, Michael Louise now improved, as there is Arrow down the inside, and around goes the Ferrari. Round goes Arrow, opportunistic move, and has a collision with William X. Sorry to say it, I don't really think you should have gone for it there. Just play the patient game, because now there's a chance Kevin Cow can jump not only F1 Lime, but also Arrow. If Arrow loses about another second here in Texas. William X, though, is going to keep the pressure on as Himmy Dime. I didn't even notice. Is now on a 6-second penalty. So Trosh is back into the podium places here, as Jack is now being caught by Himmy Dime on the 4th to last lap. Cookie is close to lapping his second car, his lap star. At this moment in time, his nearest rival in the Drivers' Championship, he has been lapped. So, once again, game on towards turn number 12. William X is gaining once again. He's gaining in the toe. And once again, now we're going to see a late lunge to the inside. Michael Louise doesn't really defend this. And then William X on the inside. And there with Michael Louise around the outside. The track's going to swing right-handed once again. And once again, he's trying to set the move up. Try the switchback. Try to get the traction around the outside. If he can make it stick, it will then be the inside for Michael Louise. Tries to have a look. Had to take a bit of avoiding action. But the Alpine had to see an amazing grip there around the outside of turn 13, and William X is now rolled reverse really. Michael Louise was having a charge earlier in the race, and now William X now picks up a 3-second penalty. So Michael Louise, Cookie and Kevin are the only drivers left who will not be getting track and penalties at this current moment in time. Back to the fight for the podium places through turn number 11 we go. Star picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. I think actually is he in this race, but that is basically irrelevant due to him being 11 seconds from P17. There's Himmy Dime down the inside on Jack. Yes, he is down the inside. Goes the Ferrari. Contact between the tyre and the side pod. And then we get on the power on the exit of turn 12, and Himmy Dime has got 2 more laps to try and manoeuvre away by, including the rest of this lap as well. So maybe two and a third of a lap, but now that will probably be only 2 laps left, as there is a moth on me once again. Moths love assaulting me come this time at night, as there is now Lime and Arrow swapping and dueling away. Maybe now it's basically going to be a rinse and repeat of what William X was trying, as Lime has got the DRS and pulls out to the inside, and Arrow under all sorts of pressure once again, and Arrow is down into 9th place here in the United States. Lime now leads the champion. Arrow struggling down in 9th. His teammate fighting for the podium, but because he's got an extra 3 seconds compared to the likes of Jack and Trosh, don't think that Ferrari driver will be on the podium. If you have stayed in with us all the way, you're watching Texas WHF Tier 1 Round 9. We're on the penultimate lap of this race, where our race winner is more or less confirmed already. He went for the 2-stop, and it has paid an absolute treat, has it, for Cookie. Towards turn number 12 once again. He's going down the inside once again. There goes Himmy Dime through on the Aston Martin, but then Jack will try the old switcheroo. But towards turn 13, Jack has to now concede the place, and is maybe just thinking, because of the extra 3 second Himmy Dime's got, he wants to just play it safe, but maybe for dummies and move to that inside line, and Himmy Dime is finally through, as there's my answer. There is Star with them. Cookie out of the final corner to start the final lap of this race, but once again we're going to be watching to this battle. Michael Louise and William X are getting close, but considering this is Tier 1, look how spread out the field is, as there is Arrow now through on F1 Lime, and Arrow is making sure he doesn't finish behind Kevin Cow. Tory picks up a 3-second time penalty. So all 18 drivers in this race still racing here, and through turn 1 on this last lap we go, and Jack was thinking of that move. We hit the 70-minute mark on the stream. Through the S we go for the final time with the podium runners, and it seems to be Himmy Dime. He's going to be picking up a little bit of free DRS here down the back straight, so he shouldn't really be under any sort of pressure. So unless Jack or Trosh become another 3-second penalty. I don't think Himi Dime will be on that podium. Star is with the podium contenders, but not in the way he would have really wanted. Down the back straight we go for the final time, and off is Nisev. All the while, though, nothing's going to change amongst those drivers. What you can say is it has been flawless execution once again in COTA. He got pole once again in COTA, and once again he leads in COTA through 18 towards turn number 19. The soon-to-be champion who are hoping to crown themselves the Constructors' Champions. It's not going to come this time around. Out of the final corner for the 7th time this season. I butchered it now. For the 7th time this season, he wins. And for the 31st time in his WHF career, he wins. Jack gets P2. Trosh in 3rd. Himi Dime in 4th. Nisev will finish in 5th. Then it'll be Womamex in 7th because Michael Louise. And there is an almighty scrap going on here. And what is going on with Lime? Lime is all over the shop here. Kevin Cowell of absolutely nowhere is now here in the battle for a top 8 finish here. Round 19, 18, 19 and 20. Is there maybe a puncture on the McLaren, or is he just out of fuel? That fuel light is flashing here. I'm actually going to do that quickly. I think Lime has run out of fuel. So, Michael Louis 6th, Womamex 7th, Kevin Cowell 8th, Arrow 9th, Gordon 10th, Lime 11th. Then the Mercedes 12th and 13th. SSR Halo will finish on the road in 14th, but he will drop down to P16 because he picked up 15 seconds of time penalties. I can't believe that I butchered it. And Cookie out the final corner to be who is champion. No, I should have just considered champion of the United States Grand Prix. Oh well. Race is concluded. Cookie, for the 7th time, wins out and is in prime position not only to be Drivers' Champion, but to also seal the deal for the Constructors' Champion as well this time next race. It's a home race win for Cookie, the American driver. He's basically making everywhere a home at this rate, considering how dominant he has been amongst the rest. The trophies raised high. The champagne is about to be sprayed. You've got an American, you've got a British driver, and you've got an Estonian on the podium. The champagne is being sprayed amongst the top 3, but now I've got to actually get these race results for Arrow. Driver of the day, Gordon, it says. Yeah, I can agree with that. So Cookie wins from Jack and Trosh, then Dime, then Nisev, Michael Louis, Womamex, Kevin Cowell, Arrow, Gordon, Lime, Ollie, Craig, Mallard, Andreas, Halo, Tori, Star with an absolutely horrendous race, Oven Chips, and Alien Alex. It's a double DNF for the Haas team. And once again, I don't think my thing is going to really work. I think I'm just going to conclude that stream there. So thank you all for tuning in for WHF round number 9 in Tier 1. Cookie once again winning. And I think we can now say that he is Red Bull and himself will be champions this time next week. We'll see you all then. Ciao, adios. I'm done.